Hi everybody, so here we go. Terminator Resistance. This is PlayStation 4 gameplay out on the PC and on the Xbox as well. And this is my review. And quite simply, if you're a fan of the Terminator films, Terminator 1, Terminator 2, even the later ones, you need to go onto the PlayStation Store or the Xbox Store or go onto Steam and see if this game is on sale. And if it is on sale, you need to buy it now. Okay? It's as simple as that. This game is really, really good. Now, it might not look like a AAA shooter, and it might not feel like a AAA shooter with the movement being a bit jerky, but the atmosphere of this game, they've really got it spot on, the publishers. So, what is Terminator Resistance? Obviously, it's a first-person shooter, but there's an awful lot of stealth in this game as well. Now, this game is set in 2028, 2029, so it's based on the events from the original Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 films. You know, when you're watching Terminator 1, and is it Kyle, the soldier who comes back to save Sarah Connor? You know, when he has I'm going to call them flashbacks, but they're not flashbacks because he was thinking of the future. When he's telling the story about the future, about, you know, the rise of the machines and Judgment Day and stuff like that. This is set in that time period, just as Skynet develops the T-800s with the human skins. In fact, the character you play is the sole survivor of a resistance army outpost that was infiltrated by one of the first T-800s with the human skin, and his unit gets decimated, and you make your way across apocalyptic America to, you know, you link up with these other survivors, and then you link up with members of the resistance. So the resistance basically is the human army, and then turns out you're being chased by a Terminator as well, a T-800 in the human skin, and the story develops from there. But as you can see in this gameplay, it's not just a shooter. You know, there is an awful lot of stealth, especially in the first few levels where you don't have access to a plasma rifle. You're just using like an M16 or a shotgun or an Uzi, and you simply cannot take out the Terminators with, you know, they're just the exoskeleton Terminators, you know, T-800s without skins and various other Terminators, and these little spiders that go around, and these little crabs that pop out of the ground, things like that. You just don't have the well, you can take those out, but you can't take out the bigger Terminators. And the first time you come across them, which I think is in this hospital that has some interesting Easter eggs that I won't give away from Terminator 2. First time you come across them, they're really scary, and even at this stage of the game, they're pretty scary. All of the bigger Skynet robots, because they're so dangerous, they can kill you very, very quickly. Now, one of the things that I did do is, when this game first came out, I watched quite a few video reviews about it. I thought, hey, I'm a Terminator fan, you know, I really fancy this game, but at full price, did I really want to buy it? But one of the things that lots of people said who enjoyed it, well, what people said was, if you're a Terminator fan, you'll really like this game. But one of the things they said was, play it on hard. Turn the difficulty level up so the Terminators are more dangerous, so they're more of a challenge, like they actually would be. So that, yeah, okay, you can take on one T-800 if you've got your plasma rifle and you've got explosive to throw at him, and you can get out of the way. But, you know, you get two T-800s or a T-800 compared with teamed up with another baddie, you know, and you've had it basically, you know, you're dead. Or if you run round a corner and there's a T-800 there, they just kill you. You know, there's nothing you can do. And I think that is faithful to the idea of the films, you know, that the T-800, the Terminators, should be these killing machines that are incredibly difficult to destroy. Unless you've got a high-powered plasma rifle and the right conditions, you know, you cannot take them on. And throughout playing this game, as I progress through it, I've become more and more impressed with it. To start off with it, you tend to think the graphics are a little bit Xbox 360-ish at times, But I'm not being really fair there, because I think the team who made this have put an awful lot of effort into the way that they've designed the levels, and it kind of has this faux open world feel. So you kind of have these little hub areas that you go to that have got like a crafting table, and you talk to characters, and then you'll go off into this larger area where you wander around completing main objectives and side objectives as well, while avoiding Terminators, and then you exit that area and you go back to the hub area, and you do a lot of talking, and this has been really surprising as well. The closest thing I can compare it to in my gaming experience is something like Fallout New Vegas, or the Fallout games, where you spend a lot of time talking to the characters in the game, and you ask them questions and you have conversations, and how you talk to them kind of affects decisions that they make in the game world. But you also learn all these really interesting stories that fill in the backstory of what happened at Judgment Day, what happened to the people at Judgment Day, the civilians, because we all know the scenes from the film, don't you, with Skynet launched the nuclear weapons and Russia fired their nuclear weapons back and it all exploded. But it's really interesting to hear from the survivors who were there at the time, and then the people who were born or raised after Judgment Day, which was 1997 in this timeline, wasn't it? Like your character and some of the other ones you come across, and how they view the world, and this interesting thing about how they view, the resistance, the fighters. Not everybody is a fan of the resistance and the fighters. And also you learn some interesting stories about people who've been captured by Skynet, but not killed straight away. They were kept in these camps and experimented on, and then some of them managed to escape, and you meet some of those people as you go through the levels. And I've been very, very impressed indeed. And what definitely helps is the sound and the music in this game. You've got the bum 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 Terminator music, and when you get into a fight with Skynet's robots, that music starts to cut in, and that's really good. And the noises of the plasma rifles going off, is straight, and the colours of the plasma rifles and the explosions, that's straight from those flash forward scenes from Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, where you're seeing the future battle. And so if we ask ourselves the question, is this a game that's worth buying? Absolutely. It's absolutely worth buying cheap. 100%. There's some crafting, there's a skill tree that you can go through, but it's not particularly taxing. You get used to it pretty quick. And it's quite interesting actually, because you can pick certain skills like lockpicking and hacking, that as you skill them up, it means that you can get into different areas of the levels. So I guess that probably helps with replayability once you finish the game. But beyond that as well, I've been enjoying the story as well, because I've always thought it's been a bit of a shame with the Terminator films that we've never really properly explored that kind of, the battles against the machines. And one of my favourite Terminator films, apart from Terminator 1, and Terminator 2 is good, don't get me wrong, Terminator 1's excellent, but I really like the one with Christian Bale in it as well, where he's playing John Connor, where you have that kind of other guy who's half Terminator but thinks he's a human. I really enjoyed that film, well, the first half of it anyway, when you have the humans fighting the robots, and it all gets a bit silly at the end, but I think that's because of the problems they had making it. But this game shows you that universe has got a lot of legs to it, and you kind of play this and you think, oh gosh, I wish they made like a Terminator Fallout, or a Terminator DayZ, where you had this massive open world, where maybe you could have a Fallout game, where you're going around on quests and doing that sort of stuff, or you had a DayZ game where it was all, the sole thing that you did was to try and survive. That was the win strategy. But I know the problem when you have things like Terminator and any of these franchises is they do have to pay large license fees, don't they? To get their franchise to be able to use the Terminator name, and use kind of the weapons and the sound and the music and all stuff like that. So there we go. Terminator Resistance, I think I got it from the PlayStation Store. I think at the moment of recording this video, I think it's £12 or £13, and as soon as I saw it at that price, I thought I'm going to buy it. And I was hoping for a competent game that was reasonably fun to play. What I've got instead, I think, is a really good game that, sure, it has its shortcomings that are mainly probably down to the budget of the team and the resources of the team that made it. But I've really, really enjoyed it, and there's some key moments, like when you meet the T-800s for the first time, you're like, oh my gosh, and you're like, whoa. The stealth elements, so you can see me at the moment using the special goggles you have so that you can see where the enemies are. And also when you go down into the one of the Resistance bunkers for the first time, and it is just like the ones in the film, and you think, right, that's it, we're here, we're in the future, we're fighting Terminators, we're fighting for the future of mankind. And there's all these little bits of paper that you find with stories on that give you backstories, and you talk to the people about it, and they're just filling in this world that, although might be a little bit restrictive in terms of the level size, but in terms of the backstory is very rich indeed. And the character voice acting, I think, is pretty good as well. So there we go. Terminator Resistance on the PlayStation or the Xbox or on the PC. Absolutely 100% worth buying cheap. If you're a big Terminator fan, or if you're a Terminator fan, just buy it. You will really, really enjoy this game. I guarantee there'll be points where you go, oh wow, this is amazing. Really is very, very good. Anyway, that's enough from me. Put your questions and comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and of course I will see you again soon.